No, we're doing what we said we were going to do, and I'll just say that it's rich coming from the person who said you can never sit with Gantz, you can never be with the Labor Party, and of course, the current government that we're replacing was one that was going to make Benny Gantz prime minister after he said he was incompetent and even said that he might not even be with all of his marbles. Okay, and might be a security threat because of Iran hacking into his cell phone. And yet he made this person prime minister. Of course, the Labor Party led by Mayor Peretz, he was happy to bring him in. In terms of us and what we said to our voters, we had two primary campaign promises. Number one was that Naftali Bennett was running to be the prime minister of the state of Israel. And the second one was that we were going to do everything possible to go ahead and prevent a fifth election. We're able to go ahead and look all of our voters in the eyes and say that we've been able to fulfill those two campaign promises. There were secondary ones that we made when it gets to, how do you go ahead and do that? Look, Meretz is going to be part of this coalition. We said that we would not, have them be a part of this coalition. They're going to be a junior member of this coalition. They're not getting anything that we consider substantial. This government is going to be more right-wing than the previous one because of the way that it's been set up, because of the fact that Lieberman is going to be on the Lapid side of the government.
But just logically, Jeremy, how can you say this government will be more right-wing when you have the Islamist, anti-Zionist Ram Party and the Meretz Party as part of this coalition? How can it be more right-wing? What more right-wing positions will...
You have three different things to look at. One is, for sure, among the Knesset members themselves, the right does not have a majority. The way we set up the government and the cabinet is that the New Hope and Yamina ministers are going to have a weight that is equal to that of the other parties on the other side. That means when, for instance, Ayelet Shaked votes for or against something, that will be worth 2 or 3 votes, as opposed to a Yesh Atid or a Meretz minister that only gets 1. And then in the security cabinet, we have a built-in right-wing majority. So if you're measuring this up against the previous government, both in the security cabinet and both in the cabinet, you see now an increase of the right-wing representation. Now, I'm not saying this is a right-wing government. It's not. This is a unity government. But I'm saying that this is 10 degrees more to the right than the government that we are replacing. It's very easy to look at the legislative branch and the composition of the MKs, but what matters when it comes to the government, the executive branch, is what is happening in terms of the voting powers of the cabinet itself, and of course the security cabinet, where you have the most sensitive things going on.
Protections built in